Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear my voice, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it audible? Excuse me,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir,
Is it
it's audible.
okay, ma'am? Okay, ma'am.
Good evening to all. I welcome our resource person, Dr. T. Jaya, Assistant Professor, Department of Education and Technology, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, and all the professors participating from various colleges to day 4 of our faculty development program on instructional theories and models. Now I invite Dr. P. Jayalakshmi, Associate Professor of Mathematics, to introduce the resource person.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am happy to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. T. Joya, Assistant Professor, Department of Education and Technology, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore. We are happy to have you here, sir. Now, let me say a few words about our resource person. His research area is educational psychology, educational technology, and instructional technology. He has published 10 papers in international journal and 10 papers in national journal and 6 book chapters. He has produced 1 MPhil research scholar and 2 PhD scholars. He has completed 1 project from TUSA funding agencies. He has an administrative he is an administrative coordinator for students, alumni, B.Ed MH Center, IQSC, and coordinator for industrial visit. And I welcome sir for this
Yes.
session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay, good afternoon to all. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to GVG College and Management Principal and Organizing Committee. Thank you once again. Now, let us discuss, I would like to share instructional design theories, history, models, and all those things covers about instructional model, right? See, this is the content or objectives we are going to see now. First thing we would like to see about what are the history of instructional design, learning theories and the implications for instructional design. What are the 3 different isms or schools, behaviorism, cognitivism and constructivism. And then we'll discuss models of instructional design and different approaches in instructional model. Okay, we'll see one by one. So before seeing instructional technology or instructional design, let us discuss what is educational technology. Actually, we are applying all the technological aspects in the field of, in the domain of education to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of teaching learning. So the main objective, main aim of applying all technology in education is nothing to improve the teaching learning process in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. See, educational technology is considered implementation of appropriate tools, techniques, or processes that facilitate the application of senses, memory, and cognition to enhance teaching practices and improve learning outcomes. So, this is our main aim of using technology in education, right? Come to the part of instructional technology, the theory and the practice of design. The first one is the theory and the practice of design, and second one is development, and the third one is utilization, fourth one is management and evaluation of processes and resources for learning. See, before design, development, utilization, management, and evaluation. Actually, the same thing. Computer science also they're producing or when they making the product. I mean, when they develop any e-learning packages or e-learning material, they are also following some steps. They are following analysis, design, coding, testing, and the last one is evaluation or implementation. Just a minute. Analysis, design, coding, testing, evaluation and implementation. Here, in instructional technology or instructional design also we use, industry, e-learning industry use the same principles or steps. The first one is analysis, the theory and practice of design, development, utilization, management, and evaluation of processes and resources for all those things for learning according to Seals and Richard. This definition can be broken into components within instructional technology. The first one is theory and practice denotes. Theory is based on the concepts or principles and schemes that contribute to the body of knowledge, and the practice refers to the application of that knowledge to solve problems. See, we can already we know that Benjamin S. Bloom's already designed the cognitive domain. The subdomain of cognitive domain, the first one is knowledge or remembering. See, we have to apply our knowledge to solve our problems. So that is the main aim of the first one is theory and practice. Second part, design, development, utilization, management, and evaluation. Each of these domains have a specific scope and area of knowledge that have evolved into a separate area of study. So, third part, processes and resources. A series of operations or activities is a process that is followed to lead a defined result, and the resources are the instructional materials that help support learning. So, the last one is learning is the goal and instruction is means to learning. So now our ultimate goal is to learn, and at the same time learning is the goal and instruction is means to learning. So all those things for instructional technology, right? Now let us discuss what is instruction and what is system, and then we'll discuss what is instruction design. Instruction is a systematic process that involves teachers, learners, materials, and learning environment in order to achieve successful and identified learning goals. See, in all the definitions, they mention goals or objectives. The word goals and objectives. Why? Because all those things should be starts from a goal or achievement. Objectives, and the end of the part definitely will see or will expect some expected outcome. So the instruction is a systematic process. It involves all the four, teacher, learner, materials, and the learning environment. So all those things in order to achieve successful and identified goals. What is system? A system, already we know that it refers to an orderly, logical method of identifying, developing, and evaluating a set of strategies aimed at attaining a particular instructional goal. Here also, all the system, identifying, developing, or evaluating all the strategies to help to attain a goal. Right. Now, let us discuss what is instructional design. It refers to the systematic and the reflective process of translating principles of learning and instruction into a plans for instructional materials, activities, information resources, and evaluation. See, instructional design is nothing but it's a systematic and a reflective process of translating principles of learning and instruction into plans for instructional materials, activities, information resources, and evaluation. What are the materials we are going to use? What are the activities should be given? What are the information resources are content? And the last part is evaluation. This is what instructional design. Right. So, instruction design as a process. First thing, it's a systematic development of instructional specifications using learning and instructional theory to ensure the quality of instruction. Why? Because it's a systematic process. Each and every process, we have some evaluation or we have some feedback. That's what I'm telling. See, this is what we have to ensure the quality of instruction in each and every process. We'll see later. It is the entire process of analysis of learning needs and goals and the development of delivery system to meet those needs. It includes development of instructional materials and activities and trial and evaluation of all instruction and the learner activities. All the processes, I mean development, evaluation and presenting the materials, all the processes we ensure the quality of instruction. That is what instruction design as a process. It is considered as a process. The second one is instructional design as a discipline. Why it is called as a discipline? Instructional design is that a branch of knowledge concerned with the research and the theory about instructional strategies and the process for developing and implementing those strategies. So here we learn. We study some. Strategies are. Instruction strategies and the theory for the purpose of developing and implementing those strategies, so that it is called as it's a discipline. Third, instructional design as a science. Why? Because it is a science of creating detailed specifications for the development, implementation, evaluation, and the maintenance of situations that facilitate the learning of both large and small units of subject matter at all levels of complexity. So that it is called as instructional design as a science. See, actually, the exact definition of instructional design, the instructional design process consists of determining the needs of the learners, defining the end goals and objectives of instruction, designing and planning assessment tasks and designing teaching and learning activities to ensure the quality of instruction. See, we'll see what are all the needs of the learners, identify the goals, what are the objectives of instruction, designing, planning, assessment, evaluation, all those things to ensure the quality of instruction. This is what the actual definition of instructional design. Right. Early history of instructional design. Already we know that the early history of instructional design be traced to the contribution of early thinkers and philosophers. They developed, implemented, and refined various instructional strategies. The first one is a Socratic method by Socrates, actually to use questions to get students think. Plato devised storytelling method as a tool for formation of student character. Further argumentation or modeling, repeated practice, and timely feedback were developed, implemented, and refined as various instruction strategies. Earlier in Gurukula system, oral feedback, something was used for the communication purpose or instructional design. But nowadays, different strategies, different methods we are using. Instructional design formally first began during the World War II, when psychologists and educationalists were given the task to develop training materials for the military services. Actually, the instructional design concept was introduced in the World War II. Right. The programmed instruction movement from early development to the present, actually early 1960s CRT movement, critical race theory is an intellectual movement. And 1965, the conditions of learning. I mean, Robert Carney, we are going to see, I mean, what are the 9 events of instructional learning. And 1970s, rise of interest in the systems approach. 1980s, the birth of e-learning. And the 1990s, rising interest in constructivism and the importance of performance. 2000 year with the rise of online learning, and 2010 onwards, I mean, mobile learning, e-learning, all those things, blended learning, flipped learning, all the learning concepts were introduced. Okay, right. This is the same critical race movement. I don't want to waste time. Now let us discuss the conditions of learning. By Robert Cogney. This is what very important. Why? Because see, most of the e-learning companies are following ADDA model. That's also we'll discuss later. But before that, Cogney conditions of learning, 9 events of learning, was used for programmed learning instruction (PLM). I mean, programmed learning instruction. And that is programmed learning instruction divided into 2 categories. One is branched method, another one is linear method. Linear method, it's frame by frame, it's going until the last frame. But in the case of branched method, the first frame will see the student. Some information is given on the frame, and the end of the information, question is asked. Some answers may be given. If the answer is right, then only the student or the learner can move to the next frame, or otherwise it will direct or it will go some other sub frame or another frame for remedial learning. See, until the learner reach the mastery of the content, then only it moves to the next frame. That is what branch method. But all those things based on these Cogney conditions of learning, we'll see one by one. Here, actually, I'll skip on. Right. I think you can able to find out these 9 events of instruction. It was designed by Robert Cogney. See, the first one is gaining attention. The second, informing the learner of the objectives. Third one is stimulating a recall of prior learning. The fourth one is presenting the stimulus. Fifth one is providing learner guidance. Sixth one is eliciting performance. Seventh, giving feedback. Eighth, assessing performance. The last one is enhancing retention and transfer. We will see one by one. So the first one is gain attention of the students. Actually, ensure the learners are ready to learn and participate in activities by presenting a stimulus to capture their attention. Actually, in a traditional mode also, when we enter into the classroom, first we make the students' attention. See, if we create the attention or if we create the interest among the subject, then only student can learn, or they can, interact, or they can, sit in the entire session actually. So the first one is gain attention of the students. Actually, sometimes, we can use some stimulate the students with the novelty or uncertainty and the surprise. Sometimes pose thought-provoking questions to students, or have students pose questions to be answered by other students, or lead an icebreaker activity. Some other techniques we can use. The same as when we develop e-learning packages or e-content packages, the first step is gain attention of the students. See, some movies also we can see that from the introduction, from the starting of the movie, some animations or some digital sounds or something attracted or something impressed the learners, audience. Why? Because they want to gain attention of the learners or target audience. The first things, gain attention is very, very important. Second one is inform students of the objectives. What are the objectives we are going to discuss or we are going to see in this package or in this e-learning e-common material? All those things should be presented in the objectives. See, we know that all the syllabuses, when we frame the syllabuses, the first thing we fix the objectives. So after we fix some 4 or 5 objectives. So objectives is followed by some content. First unit, second unit, third unit, fourth unit, fifth unit. So objective is very, very important. Why I am saying, inform students of the objectives or outcomes to help them understand what they are to learn during the course. Actually, they can bring their mind. So these are all the concepts we are going to see during this class, this session, or this session, or all those things. So it will help the students. That's why we have to inform students of the objectives. Provide objectives before instruction begins. I already told them. See, all those objectives we should inform the students before instruction begins. Here are some methods for stating the outcomes. Describe required performance, describe criteria for standard performance, how learners establish a criteria for standard performance, include course objectives on assessment prompts, or you can say that these are all the rules and regulations, or whatever it may be, each and everything is given in the objectives, right? The third one is stimulate recall of prior learning. See, this is also used in our daily classroom sessions. After I enter into the classroom, teacher asks the students what we discussed in the last class, or otherwise teacher also start from, so last class we have seen this concept at this point, or this we'll start from this. Okay, the teacher start from the prior learning. So it helps students make sense of new information by relating it something they already know or something they have already experienced. Maybe some students have a different experience, or they have learned from different sources, or they have some ideas about that. So stimulate recall of prior learning, the third one. The fourth one is present the content. Here we are going to present our content. Use strategies to present and cue lesson content to provide more effective, efficient instruction. Sometimes if the material or the content may be very big or very large, we have to chunk the content in a meaningful way. Provide explanations after demonstrations. These are all the present the content. The following are ways to present and cue lesson means present multiple versions of the same content. Nowadays we can use video, a demonstration, lecture, or different aspects we can use. Use a variety of media to engage students in learning, and incorporate active learning strategies to keep students involved. So if you follow these methods or mode, it provides access to content on Blackboard so the students can access it outside of classes. So these are all presenting the material or presenting the content to the audience or the learners. The fifth one is provide learning guidance. See, advise students of strategies to aid them in learning content and of resources available. Here, using teaching aids. Methods to provide learning guidance include provide instructional support as needed, model varied learning strategies, use examples and non-examples, provide case studies or analogies or visual images and the metaphors, all those things. It will help the students to learn more, right? Sixth one is elicit performance. Practice. Sometimes we will use a drill and practice method also. See, activate student processing to help them internalize new skills and knowledge, and to confirm correct understanding of this concept. Actually, we can facilitate student activities. Example, ask the deep learning questions, and provide formative assessment opportunities, example, written assignments or individual or group projects. So we use some practical, practice method, okay, drill and practice method. This is what elicit performance. Seventh one is provide feedback. See, provide timely feedback of students' performance to assess and facilitate learning, and to allow students to identify gaps in understanding before it is too late. Actually, we give a proper feedback, provide a timely feedback. Definitely, it reduces the gaps in understanding before it's too late. Okay. Here, types of feedback include confirmatory feedback, evaluative feedback, remedial feedback, descriptive or analytic feedback, peer evaluation, and self-evaluation feedback. Actually, confirmatory feedback is nothing but inform the students that they did what they were supposed to do. This type of feedback does not tell the student what he or she needs to improve, but it encourages the learner. So, see, what are the students supposed to do or not to do? This is the confirmatory feedback. Evaluative feedback appraises the student of the accuracy of their performance. Yes, well done, good. So, it provides, how the progress is going on. It will help the student. Third one is remedial feedback. It directs students to find out the correct answer, but doesn't provide the correct answer. Fourth one is analytic feedback. It provides the students with the suggestions, directives, and the information to help them improve their performance. Analytic feedback. Peer evaluation or self-evaluation help learners identify learning gaps and performance shortcomings in their own and peers' works. So this is what providing feedback. Eighth one, assess performance. In order to evaluate the effectiveness of instructional events, um, they must test to see if the expected learning outcomes have been achieved. See, before the starting the frames, e-learning packages or e-curriculum packages, we have fixed them some objectives. So, if the learning outcomes, the student has achieved some, behavior changes or learning, definitely our objectives has been, we have stated clearly. Here, students have not been achieved anything. We have to check our objectives or our, presenting the materials. All those things we have to check. We have to carefully design all those things. Performance should be based on previously stated objectives. That's what the objectives should be clearly stated. The last one is enhance retention and transfer. It helps the learners to develop expertise. They must internalize new knowledge. So this is what Robert Carney designed for learning. And the next one. This is what I have not needed. Right. Actually, this is what the history of instructional design. Programmed instructional materials by Skinner, 1958, and the cognitive domain, Benjamin S. Bloom's 1956. He developed, taxonomy of education objectives of the year 1956, and Robert Major, he designed. I emphasize the importance of design behavior, learning condition, and assessment in tracking learning objectives. In 1965, Robert Carney identifies the 9 events of instruction. And the 1970s, Leslie Briggs demonstrated that an instructionally designed course could produce a double increase over conventional design class in terms of achievement, along with the reduction in variance, completion time, and cost. See, it's 1970s. And the 1980s has a major effect on instructional design practices, introduces computer-based instruction, drill and practices, etc. And 1990s, constructivism underlines the importance of authentic learning tasks, problem solving and the collaboration, social cultural issues, and rapid prototyping, all those things. The rise of 2000, some we already discussed. Right. See here, big data, data analytics, and IoT are shaping the way and how the learning is tailored to the needs and the preferences of each learner. So all those things, right? See, let us discuss learning theories and the implications for instructional design. First, let us discuss what is behaviorism. So, behavioral theory emphasizes the influence of the environment on learning. See, its behavior totally focuses the environment on learning. According to behaviorism, learning has occurred when learners evidence the appropriate response to a particular stimulus. See, already we know that Ivan Pavlov, he has given a beautiful theory for a classical condition. I mean, and Skinner also operant condition. Um, See, learning happens when a correct response is demonstrated following the presentation of a specific environmental stimulus. Each and every stimulus, there is a response. So, based on the response, if the if we while we develop or when we prepare a e-learning material or e-content material, if you ask some question, if the answer is right, will give immediately yes, your answer is right. Go to the next frame or go to the next question, whatever it may be, or otherwise your answer is something. Your answer is right for some other question, or we use some different aspects. Why? Because see, learning happens when a correct response is demonstrated. So emphasis is on observable and measurable behaviors. All behaviors that can be observed and measured rather than the covered behavior. So behaviorism is very, very important. See, cognitive learning theories, according to Benjamin S. Blooms, he has designed a cognitive domain for learning, I mean educational objectives, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. The followers, David Kratzhole and James Anderson at the year 2001, they changed the order, remembering, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, evaluation, and the last one is create. Okay. So knowledge acquisition is described as a mental activity that involves internal coding and structuring by the learner. So learner is viewed as an active participant in the learning process. So total, e-learning package or e-content package, the learner is viewed as an active participant in the learning process. So emphasis on structuring, organizing, and sequencing information to facilitate optimal processing. The cognitive view of how learning takes place is based on how information is processed, stored, and retrieved in the mind, rather than on how behavior changes, according to, Shiber and Stilke. See, example drills, tutorials, simulations, etc. This is what cognitive. So, behaviorism, cognitivism, and the third one is constructivism. See, already we saw. Yeah. The third one is constructivism. Learning is always a unique product, constructed. See, as each individual learner combines new information with the existing knowledge and experiences. The common example I can say that low vision people can see elephant. They come to, they conclude they, based on their knowledge, their experiences, their knowledge, the different answers they derived from the same, the same elephant. So why I'm saying what they construct about the elephant, someone is, it's a wall, someone is a tail, someone is a different aspects. Okay, so learning is always unique product constructed. Each individual learner combines new information with existing knowledge and experiences. So what are all the knowledge or information they have existing? They will, produce a new knowledges, new information. So individuals have learned when they have constructed new interpretations of the social, cultural, physical, and intellectual environments in which they live. Right? For example, problem solving or project-based learning. Models of instructional design. We can divide models of instructional design broadly into two categories. One is macro models, another one is micro models. Models which concern themselves with the design and planning of an entire model or program. Here, micro models which concern themselves with the design and the planning of an individual lecture on teaching the session. Here, you can see some macro models and micro models. Sorry. Okay. Macro models, Bloom's taxonomy, Ashur model, ABCD model, Dickon Carey model, ICAR model, Hanafin and Peck model, Nick Hastopson model, and Gerald Kemp model, LI model, and ADD model. Here, micro models, coordinate elements of instruction, Rayleigh elaboration theory, learning by teaching, problem-based learning, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, action learning, progressive inquiry, service learning. So all those things micro model. Now we are going to see only three models now. I mean Dickon Carey model, ICAR model, and the ADD model. So look at the diagram. Actually, all the models tells that the first one is what are the goals or what are the objectives. See, identify the objectives or identify the goals. And the next, the following, followed by the, I mean, after identify the goals or objectives, the next one is analysis. See, analysis is process, analysis process is over. Now, the next one is and develop assessment instruction instruments and develop instructional strategy, develop and select instructional materials, and the last, design and conduct format evaluation of or summit evaluation. So here you see, assess needs to identify goals. Before objectives or before I mean write the performance objectives, we have to identify what are all the, I mean, this is what called as need assessment. What are all the things to be needed for developing this e-learning material or this e-content material? What are all the softwares or hardware we are going to use? What I mean methodology we are going to use, or what are all the techniques, or what are all the animations or images, pictures, audios, videos, all those things. All those things we have to identify. I mean, assess needs to identify goals. So then only we can fix the, exact objectives. Based on the objectives only, we can expect some expected outcome. So then conduct instructional analysis and analyze learners and the context, and then write performance objectives. Develop, next develop the select instructional materials and design and conduct format evaluation and summit evaluation. So if the outcome or expected outcome is okay, no problem. We reached our, student has achieved their, achievement. Our student has not been achieved. See, again we have to revise instruction. Revise the analysis process, revise the objectives, revise the develop assessment instruments, revise the develop instructional strategy, revise the develop and select instructional materials. All those things have to be revised until the student has reached or achieved their mastery level. So this is what about the Dickon Carey model. Next, ICAR instructional model. See, ICAR instructional model, you can see now, introduction, connect, apply, reflect, and extended. So introduction, introduce learners to the lesson objectives. Here, they are following immediately, they introduce the objectives. Next one is new content is present to the learner. Third, learners practice with their new knowledge and the skills with the practical activities. Fourth, learners reflect on their acquired knowledge and articulate their experience. And the last one is alternative resources material and the learning opportunities to assist further learning. This is what ICANN model, and we'll discuss what is ADDI model. So most of the e-learning company, or we can say that all the e-learning companies are following this ADDI model. Why? Because in software engineering, they are also following this steps: analysis, design, coding, analysis, design, uh, development, coding, coding, testing and evaluation. The same process they are also using, but here also we use analyze, design, develop, implement and evaluate. We'll see one by one. See, actually this model was developed at Florida State University in the year 1975 for developing training. Already I told that this actually instructional design was used at the World War II. The United States military faced the need to train large number of people to perform complex technical tasks. At the time, the term AD was not used, but rather SAT, systems approach to training. See, it was used in military, so that the name was SAT, systems approach to training. And later ISD, instructional system development. As a general rule, the military used SAT while their civilian counterparts began using ISD. The D in ISD, the first stood for development, but now normally means design, instructional design. Okay. In analysis stage of instructional design process, want to find out, see, before starting or before making e-learning packages or e-content packages, the first step is analysis process or need analysis. See, who are the target audience? Say, educational thinkers, curriculum planners or curriculum developers. Before they develop the curriculum, they find out who are the target audience. See, unless otherwise they don't know about the target audience, they cannot frame the syllabus, they cannot frame the content, etc., etc. See, for primary education, they are going to frame some kind of syllabuses or curriculum. Secondary education or higher secondary education or tertiary education, different strategies, levels are there. So based on the levels, they have to identify, according to the target audience, they are preparing or they are developing their curriculum. So before making the e-learning packages or e-content packages, we should identify who are the learners or who are the target audience. For example, suppose I am preparing a short film, 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it may be. I finished my short film. So the next day, I would like to, deliver the product. So immediately I will go to Maharashtra. I choose some village or very, or some other area. If I present my, or if I play my short film, see, it will not reach or it will not able to, they cannot, they cannot follow or they cannot know the concepts, what are the themes, what are the information given in the short film. Why? Because, see, I prepared for my own place or my own people or my own language. Everything the target audience is entirely different, means definitely that product will not be used. Why? Because before identify, before delivering the product, we should identify the target audience, or according to the target audience, we should prepare our e-learning packages and e-content materials. Second, what is the goal or intended outcome? See, based on the goal only, we should write some educational, objectives of the content. So content as objectives is okay. Definitely we can reach the goal. So goal we have a clear goal. Definitely we can frame a clear objectives. So this is very important. Who is the target audience and what is the goal or intended outcome? And we consider the following questions while doing need analysis in the analysis phase of ADDE. Who is the target audience? What do they need to learn? What is the budget? Sometimes we fail to measure or we fail to identify the budget. Why? Because how long it will go, how much we have to spend, all those things we should analyze in the need analysis. I mean, the first phase of analysis. Okay, what are all the delivery options? What constraints exist? What is the project due? What will the students to do to determine? All those things should be clearly stated, clearly explained in the analysis phase. Okay. Second phase, design phase. So here, content of the course, I mean subject matter analysis. So here we are going to present our material. Steps of instruction. I mean, what instructional steps are, what process, what methods of teaching we are going to in our classroom method. Different teaching methodologies are we are using. So here also lesson planning, writing objectives. What are the steps of instruction we are going to use? All those things clearly stated. Type of media or presentation of mode of media selection, what media, what system, hardware. So all those things we'll discuss in this second phase, design phase. See, we consider the following questions while doing need analysis phase in ADD approach. What are your objectives? What skills, knowledge, and attitudes are you trying to develop? What resources and strategies will you use in your instruction? How will you structure the content of your learning materials? How will you assess the learner's understanding and whether or not they have met the objectives of instructions? So all those things discussed in the second phase. Third phase, development phase, generate lesson plans. Actually, and the lesson materials is different from lesson planning. So complete all media and materials for instruction and supporting documents, obtain and create the required media. So use the internet strengths to present information in many different multimedia formats to meet learners' preferences. So we have to check the internet strengths before present the information. And determine the appropriate interactions. They should be creative, innovative, and encourage learners to explore further. Plan activities that allow for students' group work to help construct a supportive social environment. And end result is a coursework or workshop ready for delivery. It's actually this is a development stage, and the last one is fourth one is implementation. Here actually delivery of the instruction. I mean, duplicate and distribute the materials. What mode? How will distribute the the learning material, e-content material, or learning packages, and how to install or how to share the apps or learning material to the students. How to maintain the course. So all those things in the implementation process. Why? Because once we prepared, actually the maintenance is very important. Once we completed the packages, see, maintenance is very important. Purposing is effective and efficient delivery of instruction. Promote students' understanding of material and objectives and ensure transfer of knowledge. Be prepared for unforeseen contingencies. These are all implementation. The last one is evaluation. Here, test for instructional standards. Actually, two related evaluations going on simultaneously in most ID situations. One is formative evaluation, another one is summative evaluation. Sorry. See, formative evaluation, we know that in your daily classroom sessions, we use, assignments, test, or seminar. These are all formative evaluation. At the end of the semester, we are going to conduct, that is what summative evaluation. Formative evaluation plans several points during the course when students can provide anonymous feedback so that the instructor is aware of student confusion and misunderstanding. Summative evaluation actually conduct formative evaluations to improve the course and summative evaluation to judge the effect to the course. Actually, two evaluation methods they are following. Yeah, come to the end part, the summary. See, actually, instructional designs are used to find the best ways to teach new information to a target audience. There is no one size fits all approach. Any instructional design needs to clearly set out unique objectives in the context of those who will be taking the course. Actually, the objective, framing the objective is very, very important. Once these are flushed out, then the method of content delivery can be selected. Instructional design maximizes the effectiveness, efficiency, and the appeal of instruction and other learning experiences. The process consists of determining the current state and needs of the learner, defining the end goal of instruction, and creating some intervention to assist the transition. And the outcome of instruction may be directly observable and scientifically measured or completely hidden and assumed. So this is what about the instructional design models and theories. Yeah, references. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Here I would like to stop. If you have any queries or any clarifications, please raise, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, thank you. If you have no queries, we'll wind up this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your cooperation and patient listening. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.